Morning, morning, morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we're honoured to have a sister all the way back from JA who's living in London, and sadly she's got some next of kin or family members who have sickle cell. So we're going to learn about sickle cell today. Nice to have you here today.
Thank you.
Okay. So tell us about sickle cell, what you know, how it affects your brothers, how it affects your family.
Okay, so sickle cell is a blood disorder. So it makes your red blood cells shaped weirdly, and this can affect like the oxygen going to organs and stuff.
So when you say shaped weirdly, what shape should red blood cells be anyway?
Like a round oval shape, and when you have sickle cell, they're shaped like half moons.
Oh, like crescents, okay.
Yeah, crescent shaped.
Alright, so what's the difference? Why does the shape matter, do you know?
Not exactly for sickle cell. It's when you have sickle cell and you have like an episode of it, it causes severe pain, and it can cause it like you're more susceptible to infections. So how sickle cell came about, to be honest, it's like back in the olden days, I guess, in terms of evolution. It's people developed a way to protect themselves from malaria. So you have sickle cell trait, which helps you to protect yourself from malaria. So like I have the trait, so if I had it, it helps to break down the red blood cells faster and does something to like so you won't get that sick. So now when two people that have the trait come together, that's where your offspring will have the full-blown disease, which is quite dangerous, and you're not protected from malaria in that case.
How do you know if you have the trait? Is it something you can tell yourself, or you have to go to the doctor?
You have to get tested, blood tests.
Okay.
And it's quite important as well for black people, especially people of color, to get tested before they have children with other people, because like a lot of people end up having kids with sickle cell, and it's not easy to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what are the things that you see your brothers go through?
So about 2 years ago, because as I said, they're susceptible to infections and stuff. So one even had pneumonia, and because obviously blood and he's not even getting enough oxygen as it is, it was quite bad. He had to be in intensive care, and they'll have episodes every couple of weeks. One of them have to have a blood transfusion every 3 to 4 weeks because of that, and he's had strokes before, and like, he just goes through a lot. And at present he's unable to do walking and stuff as normal, and if he keeps on his legs, on his feet for too long, he's going to need a hip replacement. And it's unfortunate that doctors and nurses, when they go to the hospital, they do not know how to care for a patient with sickle cell other than pumping them with painkillers, morphine, whatever. They can just give them to just treat the pain rather than treat the illness itself. So imagine over time with your liver, if you're just being pumped constantly with painkillers, what's going to happen? You're going to have liver damage, even kidney problems, which one of them has as well.
Okay. Have you done other research about natural remedies?
Yes, slightly. My mom does a lot of it, where she looks at diets, supplements, herbs and all of that, and it does help. But I think, you know, when you should have started earlier in life on certain things,
yep.
I think it went past the point where, for redemption really, with probably one of them. Not saying that it can't be saved, but there's basically only a small amount a diet will do at this point, and which it's like you can tell somebody to eat better and she will help one of them to eat better, but you know, when you've gone through so much in life, you kind of give up as well, and you just don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
So it's hard to watch and hard to live with, seeing your loved one going through all of that.
And so you have 2 brothers with full-blown sickle cell.
Yes.
Has your parents got sickle cell?
My mom has the trait. My dad does not, but she's married to their dad.
Alright, so their dad's different. And he's got the trait.
Yes.
Alright.
So that's it. That's why it's really
That's why
important.
you have the trait, but you don't have sickle cell.
No, I don't.
Alright. And is sickle cell something that can miss a generation?
It can. It can, but I would not want to put a gamble. I would not want to gamble that. That's a risk I'm not willing to take.
Okay. So from all this, you've decided to study
Biomedical science.
And that's because?
It's mostly to do with my brothers, and I want to go into genetics, really.
So you want to find a cure for them, or would you say? Or is it curable?
They say there's a cure to do the bone marrow transplant, but that comes with
This
high
doesn't sound
risk.
good.
No. You can die from that.
That sounds like experimental.
Yeah. Even in Parliament, they want sickle cell, people with sickle cell to pay for their prescriptions and stuff. This is a sickness that affects mostly people of colour.
That's a
black
natural
people.
sickness as well.
Sorry?
It's a natural sickness as well.
Yes.
So it's not like AIDS,
No.
where you've misbehaved or you've done something that you're a bit
Well,
reckless.
not all the time with AIDS and stuff.
Yeah, I know not all the time, but what I'm
unfortunately,
giving
some
is an example of AIDS is not something that people are ever born with.
people- Yes.
Where you just got the rough end of the stick. But
Yeah. So
So are you going to try and change that though? Because as a diabetic, I get free medication, and diabetic argument is something you cause yourself because you've eaten badly.
yeah. Well, I am still looking into ways, and through this page that I have, which I don't really post on anymore, unfortunate, I've met other people with themselves and loved ones that have sickle cell, and we talk sometimes about things. So I'll look further into doing something to start a change. But it's been to Parliament. Was it last year?
Oh, it went to that was my next thing. Is you should start a petition and send it around the black community.
And they did go, and they rejected it.
On what grounds?
I can't remember the exact words, but they said they understood the level of severity about sickle cell. But in the end, they were saying that they can work, which some people really cannot. You cannot keep a job if you keep having episodes of pain, because how are you going to work? And what employer is going to want to keep you if you can't come to work? And should you suffer for that? No, you should have support. You should be able to get some sort of help, especially with medication that you do need.
I understand. But if you formulated medication or something, they would want to be on top of that.
I know.
Do you see what I mean?
And then you'll hear, oh, we pushed this forward, blah, blah, blah.
I think what you're doing is great. I really admire what you're doing
Thank you.
in that respect. So how long is your course?
It is 4 years because I'm doing foundation. Cause I actually went to university to do business first, and then I stopped that because that was not my passion. So I am back at square one. This is my second year, which technically is first year.
Okay. What have you learnt about this sickle cell that you wish you knew when you were younger?
I wish I knew how bad it was, because I didn't know, because I was living in Jamaica when my brothers were born here, because I came when I was around 16, and I had no idea. Like, my mom told us certain things. Obviously, as a parent, you're not going to stress your other children out, but I honestly really and truly didn't understand the level. Even when I came here and I played with my brothers, we certain things One of them has had multiple strokes.
So he's in a wheelchair or something, or?
He's not, by the grace of God. He is not. But he still has like the problem with his hip.
Okay.
I wish I knew the severity.
I hear you. What would be your advice to any family living with people with sickle cell?
I would say be supportive, check on that person's mental well-being, because that is important. Like, you'll think that they might just be lazy or not trying enough to make themselves better, but seeing somebody living it and being the person living it, it's two different things. It's hard on both sides, but it's harder on that person that has it.
Now, you're the older sister.
Support. Yeah.
How old are your brothers?
He just turned 20.
Okay.
And the other one just turned 16.
So they're going to struggle into their life, into their later days, old age.
I want to say yes, but I hope not.
Oh, okay. Okay. What would you say to your 16-year-old self?
My 16-year-old self?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You say, oh my gosh?
Have sense.
Have sense. Irrelevant to?
Everything in life. I feel as though I was so naive younger until probably about 2 years ago, really. Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
You know, when you're growing up, you just think the whole world revolves around you. Then you just stopped and realized that other people have their problems. And the older I get, I understand more and more. And I even stopped to ask my mom the other day, I'm like, how do you manage? Because I know I couldn't do it. I mean, I could, but I wouldn't want to do that. That's too much. And I'm just like, how do you manage, you know? I can't even begin to fathom all that she has to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been an interesting interview.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry if I'll pause to go quiet, because I'm really thinking about the sickle cell and what it means to our community, our race, and how it is. What I knew, just to elaborate on your story, that there were different tribes in Africa, and there are tribes who lived in the mountains and tribes who lived down on the plateaus, and where the plateaus is where the lakes are.
Yeah.
Where the lakes are, you get seasons where this is full of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So those tribes, would have malaria, and the malaria, obviously that curved blood cell would stop the mosquitoes. It's like a natural hindrance, like you said, from the mosquitoes. But the problem was, for the tribe in the mountains, they would come down to do business and intermarry and all of that kind of thing during this non-mosquito season. But when the mosquito season comes, they would never come down, they go up and stay up. And so malaria has its attribute for people who live in that tropical areas, or
Yes.
that thing's area, but people who live in this area. But what is strange, and I don't know if you know anything about this, what you know about this I should say, not anything, that if that's how malaria works, why does it work like that fine in the country of our heritage, but yet when we're in Europe it just dissipates you? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I actually have no idea. I'll have to, that's something I'll have to look into and do a bit more study.
But I think you will go far in this, because you have a drive, which is your brothers, that you clearly love dearly. And obviously you kind of, I wouldn't say suffer, you are part of that trait thing. So you could be that mad scientist that comes out with a cure and everybody loves you.
You know what's funny? My mom always told me, whoever you date, make sure you ask the person if they have sickle cell trait.
Yeah, and that's a good thing now, because now I think I will do my own checks on myself. I don't know how much it costs or whatever, to
Yeah,
find out are you
definitely.
sickle cell trait. And it saves a lot of aggravation.
That's something I do want to encourage more people to do. Like, you do need to get tested. It is crucial, or else your life will be in shambles.
Yeah, I suppose, well, it won't be your life, will it? It will be your children's.
Your life as well, because you will have to look after them.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
think of
my
that.
mom
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
stop working to look after my brothers. That's how bad it has gotten. So it's not anything easy. Like, your life will change forever.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to give up your child for adoption because of that.
No, you
which
don't want
would
to do
be
that.
bad.
That's not good. I've been
Yeah.
adopted, and I'll tell you, if you're a good parent, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, you know, your life will be really hard, and that's why I do want people to get tested to make sure. Plus, you don't want to see your child suffer.
No, very true, very true.
Yeah.
I've got one last question for you. The world is standing in front of you, 7.5 billion people, no pressure, and they're all looking at you for one wise words of wisdom based on your life experience so far. Apart from get tested for sickle cell, what would be what would be your wise words of wisdom?
Wise words. I would say, and this is a common one, do unto others as you'd have done unto yourself.
Biblical, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's like every time you get angry, just stop to think, oh, if I do this, would I like if someone did this to me, or even a family member?
That's an interesting point, because, for instance, there's certain crimes that I would expect to be punished in a severe or most fatal way if I did. So it's interesting how people see things. Certain things I think you don't get sympathy for, or what have you, but it's each to their own, and that's probably another podcast. But yeah, it's just things like paedophilia. I just don't see you don't have the right to exist anymore, in my eyes.
Honestly.
But yeah.
And they're trying to push forward that, you know, normalize or whatever. I refuse. I'm not taking part in none of that. That is no, absolutely not. They were trying to push this one doctor, psychiatrist or whatever. I do agree, they are human beings, but you cannot say let's normalize how they feel or whatever, because it's not normal to harm a child. No.
Yeah. Because you know it's wrong, because you do it in darkness. Anything,
exactly.
If it was right, you wouldn't hide and do it. You wouldn't do. You see what I mean? It's just, yeah.
No, I have little nieces and nephews and godchildren and my younger brothers. I cannot think why somebody would want to harm somebody. Why?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know why, just no.
I hear. Well, thanks a lot for that.
No problem.
And we wish you well.
Thank you. This was very nice.
That's good. We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.